When was the last time you got a great client because someone knew you, they trusted you, and they believed in what you did? They made an introduction on your behalf. Welcome to the Fear Forward CEO, the podcast for business owners who are ready to build trust, generate referrals, and scale with smart systems and AI. I'm Tonya Gossage, and each week we talk leadership, growth, relationships, visibility, and practical strategies that move forward with confidence. Let's go ahead and get started. Today, I want to start with a question. When was the last time you got a great client from a cold call? From a paid ad? From a cold DM from a stranger? Now let me ask you the opposite question. When was the last time you got a great client because someone knew you, they trusted you, and they believed in what you did? They made an introduction on your behalf. That's the gap right there. That's what we're going to be spending our time talking about today. In my 14 years of banking, I watched this played out over and over and over again. We didn't just grow through advertising alone. No, we didn't. We grew through relationships. When we brought a new bank into our systems through acquisitions, the very first thing that we did was not send a mailer. I can promise you that. The first thing we did was walk in the door and introduce ourselves. We went to chamber meetings, we went to Rotary meetings, we met business owners, we shook hands of those that we walked right into, we listened, and then and only then did people start to trust us. We reached out to people by phone, people we already knew, and that is when our deposits began to grow. That's when referrals began to come in. And that's when the community adopted us instead of resisting us. We were the new kid on the block. We took people over. But when we started doing things right and building relationships, that's when trust started happening. And so 15 acquisitions in 7 years, and every single one of them came down to relationships first. Systems then second. And let me introduce you to something that I call the R.E.F.E.R system. F-E-R-E-R system. This is the framework that at the core of every single thing that I teach. It's what, the Power Connectors community is built around. And it's the backbone of what I coach CEOs to grow. And the R, it stands for relationships. That's the foundation. You cannot build a referral first business without building real relationships first. Not connections, not followers, and not contacts. It has to be relationships. People who know you, people who trust you, and people who like you and genuinely want to see you win. Those are the people who are actually going to be referring you. And here's the thing that most people miss. Relationships require investment before they're going to return anything to you. You have to give first. You show up first. You add value first without any type of agenda. And when return comes first, the audience comes in abundance. But it cannot be rushed. Trust me, sometimes it can take a very long time, but it will come. And so the E stands for excellence. You have to be worth referring. This one, it sounds obvious, right? But I want to promise you, it's not practiced consistently. I have watched, business owners chase referrals while delivering average work. Nobody is going to refer average. Excellence is what gets people talking about you before you ever even ask. It's your best marketing tool. You've got to overperform, and it costs you nothing except full commitment to your work. What does the F stand for? You probably have already guessed it. It stands for follow through. It's the most underrated business skill that I know. Do you do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it? Full stop. I know sometimes that's very hard to do, and sometimes we overcommit. I have done it as well. Follow through is how trust gets built in real time. And it's how people move from liking you to trusting you. And trust is the currency that referrals are traded in. If people aren't trusting you, they're not going to refer you. I know that you hear me say that often, but everything is built around integrity and around trust and around building referrals. And without it, there's nothing. And you say that you will send something by Thursday, send it by Wednesday if possible. You say you're going to call somebody, make that call. Small things create massive impact. The second E stands for empathy. You have to understand the people that you serve. You have to understand them well enough to know that what they actually need. Not, get this, not what you want to sell, but what they actually need. And when you lead with empathy, people, they they feel that. And people are going to send their friends, their colleagues, people that they're in networking sessions with, to the people that made them feel seen, heard, loved, understood, and not necessarily the people that have the fanciest credentials out there, the biggest titles. Those things, they don't necessarily matter. People want to be heard. They want to feel like they matter. The people who get them. If you can make people feel like you get them, then that creates power. And then the final R stands for referrals. Referrals are the outcome of everything that comes before them. And when you build relationships, then you're going to and deliver excellence, and you follow through on consistency and lead with empathy, referrals are automatically going to happen. Not because you had to beg somebody, not because you ran some campaign or some challenge, but because you earned that. You earned that trust. You earned that respect. And so now I want to shift and talk about something practical real quick, because I know some of you are thinking, Tonya, this sounds great. It really does, but how do I actually generate referrals consistently? Okay, let's talk about it. I get sometimes that it feels random, but the word random is a problem. Random means that you don't have systems in place. You're hoping that someone remembers you. You're waiting for someone to mention your name. And sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. A referral system means that you are intentional about doing what you're doing. You stay visible in the right rooms. You can't just occasionally go to a room and hope that somebody remembers your name. Maybe you do stand out. Maybe you do make such an impression that somebody's going to remember. But you have to nurture relationships very consistently. Not just when you need something, not when you just need somebody to remember you. You make it easy. You've got to make it easy for people to refer you by being crystal clear about who you serve and what you do, and follow up every single time. And so here's the framework to use for connection and qualification. I call it L.O.R.D. And you don't have to use this every single time you're connecting with people, but this just makes it easy. Location, occupation, recreation, dreams. So when you're building relationships with people, you're not leading with a pitch with somebody. You're leading with their world. You're making it about them. You're not making it about you. So where are they based? That's their location. Where are you at? Where are you calling in to me today from? Where are you located? And what do they do? How long have they been doing it? What do they do when they're not working? What are their hobbies? What are they building towards? What is their big dream? That's something for me I want to know for. What is their vision? What highly motivates them? What's their big impact? What are they going for? I love knowing people's dreams. I love knowing their big goals. And so when you understand somebody's world through their four lens, then it's so much easier to help somebody. You know whether they are somebody that you can actually serve, someone that you can figure out somebody that you can refer to them, or somebody who is in your network that you can refer to them, or they have totally different reasons for what they're doing than what you're doing. But everything there is so valuable in what they're telling you. Does that make sense? And here's the thing about the L.O.R.D framework. It works because it's genuine. When you're asking those questions and you literally want to know the answers to those because you're actually curious, you're actually listening, and you're interested in that person who is in front of you. And that's what makes the difference between networking and relationship building. Networking collects all of the business cards of the people in the room. Relationships builds trust. And so let me talk about the 3 reasons most CEOs are not getting consistent referrals. And it's because of the patterns that I see consistently. The first thing is there's no system. They don't have a system in getting referrals or what they do with the referrals when they get them. They're grateful when it happens, but they don't have a repeatable process that creates referrals on purpose. And that's the critical point there, on purpose. But that's fixable, and that's what we build here, or I help build in the Power Connectors community, is we build on purpose. And the second reason is they don't know how to ask. They feel awkward about asking questions, or they don't know how to build something powerful. And so they don't want to seem needy. They don't want to seem pushy. They don't want to put somebody on the spot. Be intentional about what you're looking for. And be intentional about what you're trying to get out of them so that you know how to help them. And so here's the framework that I want you to carry with you. Asking for a framework, or asking for a referral, is not begging. It's giving people who love your work a way to help somebody they care about. So when you ask a happy client for a referral, you're not just asking for a favor. You're offering them a chance to look in front of someone they know and get the person, they get to be the person who connected their colleague with the exact right solution. And that feels good. Let them have it. Let them have a feel-good feeling. When they know somebody that they can connect to you because you have a need, or connect to somebody else that has a need, I'm all the time saying, hey, I have a friend who has this need. Do you know somebody that could help them? And when they do, and I pass that along, that makes that person feel good. That makes you a connector. And the third reason is visibility. People cannot refer you if they cannot clearly describe what you do. for a long time, people would say, I don't really understand what you do, so I don't know how to refer you. They don't know who you serve, and why are you different? They need to understand that. And so visibility is not vanity. Visibility is an infrastructure of referrals. If the people in your network cannot explain what you do in one sentence, they're not going to refer you. Not because they don't want to, but because they don't know how. Or because they don't know how, your job is to make all of these things easy. And here's your action item before the next episode. I want you to really, really, really think about this. I want you to identify 5 people in your network, just 5. People who have referred you before or have connected you to ideal clients or know what you do and believe in it. And I want you to reach out to them this week, not with a pitch, not with a sale, just to check in and add value. Reconnect like a human, and if it feels natural and it feels right, I want you to ask this question. Hey, who do you know right now who might be dealing with blank, the exact problem that you solve? That is it. Permission-based, low pressure, genuinely curious. That is how the referral engine starts turning. Okay, so we're going to go much deeper on this in future episodes, but I want you to use a follow-up system, the community structures, AI tools that make relationship building scalable without making it feel robotic. We're going to be working on these things, but it has to start right here with relationships, with trust, with showing up for people before you ever ask them to show up for you. Go give value. Go give value. If this was valuable for you today, I want you to share it with one CEO this week, one person in your network who needs to hear this, and I will see you next week in the next episode. Until then, go build trust, make your connections count, and even if you have to fear forward to do this, I want you to do it because it's really going to change things in your business. I can promise you. If you are not following my content on Facebook or on LinkedIn, go follow it. You will see what I'm talking about. And I will share the data with you in future episodes. Go build trust. Go build those connections. Until next week, I'll see you then. I love you, my friends. Bye.